After School Minute, yeah.
Hello and welcome to After School Minute. It's after school history, but only a minute. Many episodes ago, I talked about my obsession with the Titanic. In honor of that possibly unhealthy thing about me, today we're going to talk about one of the ship's most famous passengers, the unsinkable Molly Brown. Margaret Brown, maiden name Tobin, was born on July 18, 1867 in Hannibal, Missouri. She eventually moved to Denver, Colorado, and homegirl was looking for a husband, specifically a rich husband. Listen, I love a woman who knows what she wants. Instead, she fell in love with James Joseph Brown, who was in fact very not rich. She stated, "I decided that I'd be better off with a poor man whom I loved than with a wealthy one whose money had attracted me. So I married Jim Brown." But everything worked out in 1893 when the mining company James bought stock in struck gold. Boom, rich. Molly was thrust into Denver's high society. Using her prominent standing, she championed women's equality and was a big philanthropist. While her status rose, she was unable to gain entry to Denver's most elite women's club, the Sacred 36. One of its most prominent members, Louise Sneed Hill, was adamant about excluding Molly because she felt that Molly was loud and had poor grammar. Molly called Louise the snobbiest woman in Denver. Bloop. Imagine being the lady who snubbed Molly Brown. That sucks. Titanic time. Molly was traveling in France when she got word that her grandson was very ill. She booked passage on the earliest ship that would get her to New York City. That ship was the Titanic. We all know what happened there. Chunk of ice, not enough lifeboats, cracked in half, sunk, a lot of people died. During the chaos, Molly was said to have helped many people get into lifeboats. She had to be convinced to get in one herself. If you've seen 1997's Titanic, you know that while she was in her lifeboat, she tried her hardest to convince the crewman in charge to go back and save those in the water. He refused, thinking that they'd either be sucked under by the force of the ship or they would be swamped by people trying to climb aboard. All I know is I did not appreciate homie talking to my girl like that. Once aboard the Carpathia, the ship that came to the rescue, Molly Brown organized a survivors committee with other first-class passengers. They helped secure basic needs for the second and third-class survivors. After the sinking, Molly was viewed as a hero and was damn near a star. The Women's Club, the Sacred 36, finally let her in, because of course they did. She ran for Senate in 1914, but ultimately decided, nah. She eventually went back to France and helped in the recovery effort after this devastation of World War I. That is so fucking hard to say. World War I. World War I. World War I. Molly Brown died in her sleep on October 26, 1932 at the age of 65. Her legend lived on in the form of a Broadway musical in 1960 and a movie in 1964. Both were called The Unsinkable Molly Brown. Queen shit. And her legend lives on. Class dismissed.